People are born, they live, and they die. But some of them can't completely leave this world, even after death, because a part of them is still here. This video tells the story of 10 famous people whose mysterious remains even death couldn't touch. If you enjoy exploring the dark side of history, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video, because in this story, even death isn't silent. Napoleon Bonaparte. The missing organ French emperor. Napoleon Bonaparte died of stomach cancer while in exile. During the autopsy, doctors were shocked. Napoleon's body wasn't complete. Years later, the missing organ was revealed to have been sold for $100,000 in a private collection. An emperor who managed to become a bargaining chip even after death. Thomas Edison, the last breath inventor. Thomas Edison's friend Henry Ford was with him at the moment of his death. Ford captured Edison's final breath in a glass tube and kept it. Today, that tube is displayed at the Henry Ford Museum. In a way, Edison's last breath is still moving through this world. Albert Einstein, the stolen brain. When Einstein died in 1955, his doctor Thomas Harvey stole his brain during the autopsy. Harvey claimed it was for science, but he kept the pieces in his home for 40 years. Eventually, the remains were handed over to the National Museum of Health and Medicine in Washington. Even Einstein's genius couldn't escape being dissected after death. Ludwig van Beethoven, the lost ear bones. Beethoven was completely deaf during the final years of his life. His ear bones disappeared during the autopsy and were later found in 2005, owned by a Viennese family. They are now preserved at a university in California. Perhaps those bones still hear music within the silence. Buddha, the unburned tooth Siddhartha. Gautama, the founder of Buddhism, was cremated after his death, but one of his monks secretly removed one of Buddha's teeth and kept it. That tooth has been on display for about 2,500 years in the Temple of the Tooth in Sri Lanka, a belief made immortal with a single tooth. Galileo Galilei. The middle finger scientist Galileo survived the Inquisition, but even after death, he found no peace. While his body was being moved, a fan cut off and kept his middle finger. For centuries, it passed from hand to hand and is now displayed at the Florence Museum of Science. They couldn't silence his ideas. They even preserved his finger. Che Guevara, a lock of hair. Revolutionary Che Guevara was killed in Bolivia. A CIA agent cut a lock of his hair and collected the bullets from his body. Years later, the hair was sold for $120,000. Che's body returned to the earth, but his symbol never faded. Abraham Lincoln. Skull fragments. U.S. President Lincoln was assassinated. During surgery, small fragments of his skull broke off and were kept for years. Today, they are displayed at the National Museum of Health and Medicine, a leader whose thoughts and skull were engraved into history. Rasputin, the hidden piece. The Russian mystic Rasputin was poisoned, shot, and even drowned in icy water. But according to rumors, an organ from his body was secretly removed and preserved. That piece circulated through private collections for years, and who possesses it now remains unknown. Even after death, Rasputin continued to enchant people. John Lennon, the Tooth Beetle's legend. John Lennon was killed in 1980, but back in the 1960s, he had pulled out one of his own teeth and gifted it to his housekeeper. Years later, that tooth was sold at an auction for £20,000. A piece of Lennon still remains in someone's hands. Some people become immortal not through their bodies, but through their ideas. But some truly leave a part of themselves in this world. History sometimes keeps not only the living, but also the dead.